going to try and do is make something out of this.
Stuart Trevor it's a brand, it's a label, it's a designer collection. I think nowadays people don't trust huge brands. They don't trust these billionaire corporations that just lie about their greenwashing and sustainability and things like this. And I think people trust people more. So I've learned that in the last couple of years. People have said to me, I'm so glad that you've given it your name. It means that you believe in it. I have been in the fashion business 40 years. I started at 18 at Reiss, did 10 years there, and then I launched my own brand, which was All Saints. It was all based upon my childhood, growing up in the greatest period of rock and roll, pop music and MTV videos, and I just based everything upon what did I want to wear when I was 14, 15, 16, what were all the cool bands wearing, and I wanted to be David Bowie, I wanted to be in a band or whatever, and I ended up dressing them all. About 5 years ago, started mentoring young brands that have a positive social environmental impact. And there was a denim company, and they taught me a lot, actually, that there's so much denim in the world. There's so many pairs of jeans. We don't need to make another pair of jeans ever. And they would embroider them and patch them up and do different things with them and sell them. And I was taking them to investors. And these investors were like, yeah, they sound great. Why don't you do another brand? I'd be like, the last thing the world needs is another clothing brand. And they'd say, well, I really love what you're wearing. And I'd be wearing things like this where I'd patched up and added pins or belts or little badges. And I went away and I thought, what about a clothing brand that doesn't produce any clothing? What if we take existing clothes? What if we get hold of all these vintage Levi's and Lee and Wrangler? I used to go to warehouses that had an incredible amount of vintage military pieces, and they're the best quality, they're really amazing. I thought, why don't I just get hold of all of this stuff and put it together in a collection and add the patches and print on them and bead them and stud them and do hand paint on them and do different things, and make a collection. So I put it out on social media on a Friday that we were going to launch this new brand. When I went home that night, when I woke up the next day, there was about 1,000 messages and likes on Instagram and Facebook and telling me this is the coolest thing I've ever heard of. Can I come to your launch party? And people loved the concept. And we realized then that, my God, we're onto something. So normally I would pin these and get the tailor to sew it. But actually, I'm quite liking the idea of it just with the pins. It is quite time consuming. It's actually quite relaxing. It's quite enjoyable. These are the sort of things that I do, after everyone's gone home and I'm just mucking around, and I'll make one and then I'll give it to the tailor and get him to work out a way of making 4 or 5 of them. We have a saying that the future is in the past because we always look at how things used to be. When we were kids and we had favourite items, or even 10 years ago, you used to get up in the morning and think, I can't wait to wear my favourite sweater or jeans or whatever. And the problem is now is people have so much, fast fashion and mobile phones have brainwashed everybody into believing that they don't have enough. And then we've all got wardrobes full of clothes that we don't ever wear. You can't stop people from buying clothes. So what we can do is give them the opportunity to shop something really beautiful, guilt-free, because it already existed. It's not, we're not damaging the planet. We're actually taking things out of waste that goes into landfill. I've been to Ghana. I've seen these mountains. It's frightening, and we need to do something about it. This is actually a leather shirt, and then we've lasered a pattern in here that's a little bit sort of Sex Pistols, Stuart Trevor, peace in the UK with sex, drugs and rock and roll. We now sell primarily in the UK. Second biggest market is USA, Canada, Australia. It's all online. We also invite people to come here to our studio in Hoxton and bring us a suitcase full of all their old clothes, like clear out your wardrobe, like good quality stuff, no fast fashion rubbish, but bring us some good quality natural fibres and we will swap it for a discount against anything in the building. So these are really popular. This is a shirt dress. We take, woman's shirt or shirt dress, and we take the back out and replace it with dead stock fabric, like a beaded net. So it's kind of like a, sheer back panel, and it's just amazing. We can't get enough of these. People ask me all the time now, how's it going? I'm like, oh, it's a nightmare. And they're like, why? Oh, yeah, I heard business really tough. What's going on? People keep ordering things and they laugh, and it's meant to be a bit of a joke, but it has become quite stressful because every week we've got 100 people buying things from the collection, and we don't hold stock of everything. So we have to run around and find the pieces that they want, and then we add, the labels, the patches, the badges, and each one has an ST logo sort of branding, and then we also have like a little patch on there that I sign and date and number, so each piece is exclusive and it's meant to be like a walking work of art. I think I'll probably leave this here. When I launched this 2 years ago, people laughed and said, where are you going to get the stock? How are you going to scale this? Now we can't keep up with the demand. These are very early days. We've got a huge future ahead of us. This is just the start. It's the future of fashion is Stuart Trevor.